thank you for all the watchers. Welcome to our very next program. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Please keep on subscribing, viewing the videos. We appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
How's it, people? Welcome to another edition of Farming Solomon Ways. If you recall from my first and second programs, I told you I will teach you how to make money. And if you've been following our program, this is what you'll be learning, how to make money. Yeah, we've got our tomatoes. We're on week 14 on some of them week 15. And as you can see here, look at the money. Look at the money over here. Look at the beautiful growth. Look at all those tomatoes in there. All the good, beautiful tomatoes. So guys, if you follow the steps, you'd know what to do with the gridding. As you saw, all we do with the gridding is we flip and we flip. You take it like that, you flip over the gridding. So guys, all we're doing is you take it softly, gently, you don't want to hurt it, you flip it, and it hasn't got long to go. These are already 1.5 meters high. You can see the tomatoes in here. This is money. So within 15 weeks, 15 weeks, which is 3 months kind of thing, we've taken this from a little seedling and we've let it go all the way. If you find things like this on your plant, you know what, guys, this is just going to drain the plant. So take it very nicely and just snip it off. Let the whole thing come off. There's no flowering, there's nothing to it. It's just going to drain it out. And this we just cut up for compost, and you can put it back in its bedding, no problem. You want your plant healthy with healthy green leaves. If you see a little leaf that's not good, take it off. Don't worry, it's just going to enhance the growth, the tomato growth. If you look at it from this way, guys, you can see all is nice, all is good. That one's going outwards, so we've got gap to actually just flip it. And as you see, we flip it over the metal now, so we've guided it to grow upwards. Look at these ones over here. Look at all this beautiful yellow flowers. I mean, all this, these are plenty tomatoes all over that are going to come out within the next week. They should be out. So these little green ones here, within a week they should large themselves, and they'll be ready. They'll be turning a champagne color, ready to harvest. Look at all these beautiful tomatoes. So what we do on 14th week worth of growth, guys, look here, these beautiful ones as well, is so we've kept it organic all the way, and that's quite important. If I had used chemicals and fertilizers, I would have had a bit more growth out of this, but because I'm using it organic, the process is a bit longer, but my quality of tomato is going to be much better, and the taste of my tomato is much better. So at 14 weeks, what I suggest we use at 14 weeks is what you'd like to put into your plant at 14 weeks is you'd like to give it some bone meal. It's organic, so we haven't got a problem. As you know from earlier in features, all we used was bat droppings, guano droppings for the first boost of organic compost to it. And now secondly, we just round it off with a bit of bone meal, again organic, purely organic. So we try to keep our things as organic as possible. This is what the bone meal looks like, as organic as possible. And you just sprinkle a little bit like this round the base of the plant. Give it some organic compost, give it some bone meal, purely natural, and let it grow from there. Just little bit sprinkled around the base. That's all it requires. And then we'll see in 2 weeks what the performance of these will be. But as you can see, all over flowering, beautiful. I mean, you can get lost in this tomato orchard at the moment. That's how beautiful it is. And all we've done is we've taken it and we've gridded it. We have got some tomatoes which has planted, which hasn't had the gridding, because we had a surplus of our tomato seedlings, and we've planted them out on land and in the flower beds, inbuilt flower beds, but obviously we didn't have the metal gridding. But I'll show you now how we also gridded those. Hey guys, so as I say, we had too much for our inside section with our gridding and our hothouse. But we've planted some in our raised flower beds. We've still planted in the raised flower beds. Very important, always raising the flower beds, raised flower beds. But guys, look at the money. Look at the money. Look at these beautiful tomatoes. And these tomatoes within 8 days, 7-8 days, they'll be ready to harvest. Okay, but what we've done on the outside section here, again, we try not to tire the plant. We try to guard it and grid it. And what we've done is we've just put a piece of wood in it. And as you can see, we've just put string and pallet wrap down. And all we do is, as the tomatoes grow, we just flip it over and flip it over and let them grow up onto their momentum over here. If you look behind here, again, in your raised pallet bed, and you just take your tomatoes, you've got your strings, and we've guarded them so they're not flopping. They got their pallet wood, they got the string, and as I say, the string is not tied to any tomato. So it's not tied to any stem, it's not being pulled down. No stem is getting pulled down. All that we do is we just flip it and guide it and flip it and guide it. Look at the beautiful tomatoes on this. Everywhere you look, you've got beautiful tomatoes, and all it was is flipping and guiding, flipping and guiding. So simple, just flip and guide. You've got your string, so just gently take your stems, flip them within the gridding, and just let them grow up into the gridding. Flip and guide, and that will, ideally, they'll all grow in the direction that you point them. In any direction you're going to put this tomato, that's how it's going to grow. So the more I flip and guide it, the more it's going to grow. Yeah, these are old pig hooks. And as I was saying, you need to get flower pots. You need to raise beds. What we've done here, these are all structures of our old things. But as you can see, we've planted in the tires, 2 tires stacked on top of each other. Plant in them, you're still safe from the roots. Your roots are still safe from everything. And as I was talking to you about strings choking the plant, you can see we've tied them right at the bottom here, and look at the new growth that's come out of it, because we're not choking it, we're not using string to tie around it. We're guiding it with plastic. So as you can see, all the plastic loosely tied around it just guides it up and guides it up. As you can see from here, look over here, perfect example. Look at our plant, how it's coming out, and all we've done is we've guided it loosely with the plastic, and we've got it, and look at the phenomenal growth that it's giving us. And once it reaches there, then we can start flipping it and all the rest. Even these ones, all guided in with the plastic, ready to go, and flowering good tomatoes. Let's go to the next section. Okay, so you can see our greenhouse started off with scrap zincs. We put all our zincs together, we closed it off, we started building our flower beds. Same principles. Cardboard at the bottom, some organic material, food with sand, food compost over this, and then sand on top of it. So you can see all our new flower beds, how they've been built. These we're getting ready to plant shortly. And you can see the greenhouse. I mean, look at this beautiful greenhouse. And yes, it's taken 3 months to get here, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it was done out of scrap zincs to enclose this section first so that our donkeys can't get into it. And then the gum poles went up, and then the netting has gone up. Netting, very simple. You just stitch together, and then we've taken wire across, and we've run all the shade netting is on a wire from gum pole to gum pole. So it's all well strengthened with your wires, and we're going to stretch it out, and then we're still going to bring crisscross wires, so that will make it stronger. Now you can see these tomatoes have just been planted newly. We had one of our guys here, Uncle Willem, he bought us these reefs from his garden. He's got a lot of the reefs, and you can see how we've put the reefs together, just taken the bamboo, tied it up, and he's made us this beautiful thing. And again, as the tomato gets bigger, we'll just support it over the reefs, and it will go. So whatever you can get hold of to support your tomatoes, whether it be pallet wood, whether it be bamboo reeds, whatever the case is. But the most important thing is to just keep on gridding, so you can bring it up. The more you grid, the more you can bring up your tomato. And the more you bring it up, the more, like this leaf, all I have to do is I take it gently, I put it on the top, and that's going to give it upwards growth. So the most important thing is go every morning and see what you can grit, what you can lift. The more you lift it, the more it's going to grow upwards. And you can see beautiful section over here, how it's also gritting. They've also just started flowering, but they are a bit behind. They weren't planted as early as those, so they are a bit behind, but fantastic progress. And guys, let's make money. I've told you, we can do it. Life is tough. You need to make money. You need to be self-sustainable. I mean, even if you stay in a little flat with a balcony of 10 square meters and you get yourself 2 pot plants. I mean, you don't need them too big. Something this high and that wide, as long as it can hold about 15 kilos of sand with it, you can plant your tomato in there, 2-3 tomatoes, and then you can go through a whole season of just saving on your tomato bill. You've got too much tomatoes, you can process them. You can make a tomato sauce. You can make a spaghetti sauce. I'll still teach you how to do that in later videos. But you can do that. Let's get self-sustainable. I mean, even if you've got a garden and you can do it and you grit your tomatoes, as long as you're gritting them, you're going to make money out of it. If it's in a raised bed, you're going to make money. We've had, you guys know, everyone around Gauteng, we've had some horrific storms here. Horrific storms. We've had where the land has been flooded. But because of this, none of my tomatoes have been affected. Everything is safe, sound, and secure. This was all wet. This was all little rivers, but my tomatoes have been all right. And all my sections around the farm, wherever I've had this in sections, I haven't lost the plant. So before you go out, guys, I told you from the beginning, build yourself your flower beds. Get pots. Get whatever you can. Plant in 20-liter buckets. Get old crates and just line it with a porcelain bag and fill it up with soil and plant it and make that into a flower pot. Whatever you can, but just raise it off the ground. As long as it's raised off the ground, you are 90% guaranteed of your crop. And then, as I said, at about 6 weeks, give it some back droppings, organic back droppings, and well, these have just had the organics, and then at 14, 15 weeks, start giving it its bone meal. And keep it well, and keep it organic. Keep it fresh. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Hope you've enjoyed this program. thank you to my faithful subscribers. I had a subscriber of mine today talking to me about her tomato plants. Heads up to the subscriber and her husband. But yeah, it was all about a hose pipe and water. So see what happens. Just a quick just say, give all you guys a useful hint today. This hose pipe, as we call it, this is a tomato's enemy. This and this don't go together. The minute you start watering and hosing a tomato plant, all this is going to die. It's all going to go brown, it's all going to go dry, and it's all going to die. You need to water your soil. That's all you need to do. Water as close to the plant at the bottom as you can on your soil, and don't worry about a hose pipe. You'd rather use a watering can and water towards there, because every leaf that gets wet from water of a hose pipe will die. Rainwater has got its own vitamins. A tomato can cope with it. But water from a hose pipe, do not use a hose pipe to water your tomatoes, guys. You follow my tips, you'll never buy tomatoes again in your life. Okay, guys, right, I've taken you through the tomato exercise. I know a lot of my subscribers are waiting for habaneros. Habanero plants, habanero growths, because as you know, habaneros is one of the hardest things to grow, cultivate and harvest. And we've also got our jalapenos to show you guys that you saw from seedling going in, and we've also got our serranos. So from the next program, guys, whoever's interested in chilies, your habaneros and all your chilies, watch. We will take you through the chili plantations.